All right, everybody, welcome into this ancestor message. I decided to do this ancestor message today. It wasn't really on my plate today, or thinking that I was going to do this today, but I woke up this morning and I just thought, what am I going to do today? And I smelled roses all around me, and I just got this deck not too long ago, Oracle of the Roses. I just really loved it. And when I smell roses around me, I always think of my Aunt Ursula, who was a beautiful gardener. She had beautiful English gardens, and she was a photographer for Life and Look magazine millions of years ago. And her sister, my Aunt Gertrude, was an opera singer in Europe. So they were really powerful guides for me. I only had them around when I was little, but I still, every time I smell roses, I think of Ursula. So we're gonna activate Ursula in the extended here. So, and maybe Gertrude too. Let's see where we go. They were beautiful people. They really were. Not really connected to my family in terms of regular DNA, but boy, were they connected in terms of spiritual DNA. All right, attachment underneath, evolution. Wow, we're talking about DNA and all of that. Zen garden. Oh my goodness, garden energy here. Inner sanctuary, letting go, restriction, fear, earth changes, climate changes, transformation. The morning message tomorrow is a lot about what's going on in the outer world is noise, and having to really understand that so you can get yourself grounded again. And having this garden analogy, or this garden energy showing up so loudly for me this morning, is really the inspiration for this whole reading. What's Charlie doing back there? So let's see where we go here. It does feel to me a little bit like we're finally loosening the grip of what other people think about us. We're finally letting go of our own structure, of our own belief systems. There's a lot going to be happening this fall. I talked about the Saturn-Uranus square that is getting strong again. Saturn-Uranus square has been with us from 2020 through 2021, and now into 2022, when it will finally move away. It keeps coming back and forth because of all the retrogrades, okay? So December 24th will be the final hurrah for Saturn square Uranus. And Saturn square Uranus, Saturn is about the structures and the rules, and Uranus is about no more of those rules. Uranus is the innovator, okay? And so what we're doing personally, on a personal level, I think, is we're reordering the rules we live by, but also as a collective, we are now in a state of the world where there's a lot of upheaval and kicking at the traces about this structure works, this structure doesn't work. All right, what goes in place of it? There's a lot of that going on. Oh my God, Tower. All right, so this is Plutonic energy, and we've been talking about the Pluto return of the United States for a couple years now, and it's going to be going on until 2025. I hate to tell you that, but right now I feel like this fall is going to be a I'm just like getting this sense of like this pinpoint moment in time. Okay, I'll explain that to you. So, have you ever had the experience, and I know you have, that you go along in a relationship and there's one thing that breaks the back of that relationship? And to the outside world, it might seem like this stupid, goofy thing, but to you, all of these other things are on the back of it. So, for example, and I'll lay out the rest of the reading and we'll talk about this. 9 of Swords, Page of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, King of Swords, 3 of Wands. Ooh, I like this. I like where this is going. 8 of Wands, 5 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups. I like where we're going here. So I dated someone a long time ago, and there was a lot of like, it was basically death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? A lot of little things that were hollowing out the love. Okay, there were a lot of little things, some not so little things, but it was like the tap was getting turned off. Okay, every time something would happen, the tap would turn off, and there was nothing in the connection that was opening it back up. There was nothing that was like, okay, let's get to a better place. Now we've discovered that this is something that needs to go. All right, what's the new thing? There was never that like reclaiming or that embracing of a new awareness. Hey, I've made this discovery, Uranus. Let's make a new structure, Saturn. There was never that. And so what happens is eventually you turn off the tap, and that last thing that turns it off may not be that big a deal. The last thing that turned it off for me was a baseball game. And I always say I broke up with somebody because of the Boston Red Sox, and which, is definitely true. But I wanted to go to Fenway. I hadn't been to Fenway in a long time. And we were teetering. This relationship was teetering because of a mountain of unkindnesses and selfish behavior that I was experiencing in this connection. And so finally we got to the point where I got us all to Fenway, and this person every 15 minutes, can we go now? How about now? Can we go now? And I was just like beyond furious. I was like, we're done here. And so that can happen when things build up and build up and build up. And that's why we get this tower. So this is what's going on. This is the secret of the reading, which is, hey, lots of things, lots of pressure being put on people, lots of situations, evolutionary changes are pressure. It's not like somebody's auntie is doing something necessarily. It's that, or your brother or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife or whatever. It's not necessarily that. It's the overall structure of our DNA, the overall structure of our society and where we're going is being like, right? Like there's this molding and changing and shaping and like, oh God, like in the 1920s, wearing corsets to change the shape of your body, right? Like that's what is, when they finally got rid of the corsets and everything and people's bodies could be natural, it was a big shift in the kind of clothes they wore, right? Just a small example of that. When you finally get rid of the thing that's like trying to hem you in, there's this boom, there's this sense of freedom. And there's now, I feel like that's what's happening this fall. There's like this boom, this sense of massive freedom that is being brought through this tower moment, because we're no longer like, and a lot of us, Nine of Swords, in this place of like, I mean, I don't know about you, but in the middle of the night, these last 6 months, I have been so much in the energy of the collective, swimming around in this sense of anger, frustration, fear, toxicity. Things must work this way. No, they don't. Saturn is the father energy of, this is how we've done things. And there's a whole bunch of over the past 20 years or 40 years or 60 years, there's just been this elevation of other things to now we get to the clash point. We're getting to this clash point. And I feel like the ancestors are saying like, listen, there's a lot of need for you to be inside, to go inside. There's a lot of need in order to, I mean, it's not about blocking out the noise of the universe as much as it is tapping into the energetic pipeline that you have, and not being in the world, but not of the world. Okay. And I feel like a lot of us are seeing this right now. King of Swords. I'm certainly not the only one who's been talking about this. But now I definitely feel like we're getting to a point where we don't know where the path is anymore. And the only thing that makes sense is your connection to spirit. That's the place where peace lives. So if you're wanting to be grounded and peaceful in a time of tumult, the thing that matters is connection to spirit. So this is a call to action for a lot of us to step up our game in terms of our meditation, step up our ways of moderating our behavior, or moderating our behavior. That's not right. Step up the ways that we are being in the world so that it's not adding to this. Okay, we're not here to add to this. We're here to be a port in a storm. Back to the lighthouse story we go. 5 years ago, this is the 5th anniversary of this channel. This month and into October, this is when 5 years ago this channel began. And I started talking about the lighthouse. It's one of you can go back and look at, I have never taken down any readings that I have done. You can go back 5 years and watch that this theme of the lighthouse, of spiritual people are being activated to be a lighthouse for other people, meaning that you are shining a light. You're not running up and down the beach trying to get the attention of the boats. Nope. You're not out there in the water buffeting around with everybody else. Nope. Your job is to stand still and be grounded. This also says to me that there is enlightenment coming for those of us who stand still, for those of us who create, and it's loud. Okay, so some of the things that might be coming through might not necessarily be gentle or kind, but this is what's being asked of us, is to be gentle and kind to ourselves, to be focused inward, to look to our spirit guides for innovation and for help. This is Aquarius energy, this King of Swords, which is innovation. And I feel like it's coming at us kind of quickly. The 3 of Wands and the 8 of Wands, it's like, okay, once we ask for it, once we open ourselves up to it and get clear, instead of closing ourselves off to what's trying to come through, once we ask for it, boom, look at all of this comes in. We're being asked to open up spiritually, step up your game in terms of meditation, really get clear on your internal life. It is going to be the saving grace over the next 2 years, 4 years, something like that. I do think that there is a little bit of internal sadness that does come with this 5 of Cups and the 2 of Pentacles. It's like certain things will not survive this. Certain relationships will not survive this. Certain things that we do value or feel are important to us will change and transform and move over time. Mr. Man. And it is all about stepping into love. It is all about being in this energy of love. And that's why people like Mother Teresa, people who do the hard work in the trenches, being with people who are in many ways, off on their own journey. They're here for different reasons. There's illness, there's despair, there's lower vibration stuff. In order to be among that, you have to be grounded and solid in your own meditation, in your own spiritual life. You cannot help others now without that, because it's too strong. It's too strong of kind of a negative pull. So we're being asked to really step up our game in terms of our spiritual resiliency, power. That Strength card has shown up a lot recently. Strength and Hermit have shown up a lot recently. So the ancestor message here is about recognizing that the most important thing going right now is your internal life, your connection to spirit, and the inner sanctuary that you are creating, the inner garden you are tending. I do feel there is something here about when the information rushes in. I think there is a sense of coming back to the collective, back to the spiritual collective, and how much stronger we will be for it. All right, ancestor message. So I'm going to continue on with you. If this is something that's intriguing you, there's a link below if you'd like to continue on with me. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.